Adventure time, come on and grab your friends.
Oh my God,
Going to
that's perfect.
distant lands with Jake the dog and Finn the human. Fun will never end, it's adventure time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing podcast. Today, what I have available for you guys is the 3D senior artist from Marvel Strike Force. He's worked at Command & Conquer, in Westwood Studios. He worked for League of Legends under Riot Games, and now he works at Marvel for Marvel Strike Force. We ask him all kinds of questions, everything from what the software and what it's like to be an animator, the work environment, how it is like working with his coworkers, what it's like developing a character, the process of taking a character from the beginning to completion, what that process looks like, as well as some just more general fun questions. Also, near the end of the video, I open $100 worth of red stars. That is 28 red star orbs, so that way you can see that as well. If you like this video, please do like it and subscribe if you're new to the channel to see more of these. You should expect higher and higher quality content every single day here. I love you all and enjoy this video, and please welcome my good friend Mike. And ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be a fun video because I have my friend Mike. And Mike, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you explain what your job is over there at Marvel?
Hey, what's up? My name is Mike Laygo, or some people call me Oh My Goodness, but I'm an animator at Marvel Strike Force, on Marvel Strike Force.
Which is perfect because people that watch this channel know I've been trying to talk to somebody in the art department of literally any game since I've started. So this is kind of an exciting video for me because there's a lot of questions I've been wanting to ask animators. So, and hopefully...
Dude, actually, I've been pushing from the inside to hey, it feels like a lot of people want to see what goes on behind the scenes, and I'm trying to get my own thing going too, and since you approached us about it, it's like a really good opportunity to show off what's going on. And I actually told the people in the art department, hey, if you're interested in doing this sort of thing, there's people who want to see it. So
yeah, no, it's I was surprised how quickly you guys said yes, actually. So I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, well, the one I've got to stop the conversation and point out you have a Command & Conquer poster in the background there. So I do. I've got way too many hours in the remastered.
This is signed.
It really is by Westwood. You actually have the full studio sign and everything.
Yeah, I actually worked on Command & Conquer 3, this one right here. So
no way.
My name is on his shoulder pad. Yeah, man, I've been doing top-down sort of games for a long time. RTS games, from Command & Conquer, and then I just kind of rolled into more RTS type games like League of Legends.
So, you worked on League of Legends too.
Yeah, I did. So this was so fun for me because I thought, oh man, I can't get any better than working on cool PC game characters like that. So.
Oh, that's all. You're playing all the games that I loved. Command & Conquer I grew up on because my dad played that game, right?
Dude, that's awesome.
No,
I was playing 3 a lot lately. I know 3 is pretty old, 15 years old at this point, but it's still fun. Yeah, it's cool, man.
I've been playing way too many hours of remastered for sure. Well, okay, this is going to be...
Which one?
I play the original. I tried Red Alert. Cool. Red Alert's okay. For whatever reason, I couldn't get into it. It's the old visuals of the old one that gets me. The Wilhelm scream and everything. I don't know what it is. It's so cheesy. I love it.
It's really good. It's so bad it's good.
Exactly, yeah. And the obelisks and all that, you can't really get more peak nostalgia than a Command & Conquer obelisk. But to bring it back to the Marvel, because I think I could go off about Command & Conquer forever.
We can maybe do another show and just talk about Command & Conquer.
Yeah, we should, because I'm I was sitting here, I'm stop myself, damn, you're about to ask me about now your League of Legends time, and go into all the other games. We'll never get to Marvel. So one of the questions I have a list here that I was going off, because what I did is I went and I asked the people on my stream and I asked people in my Discord and some YouTube comments and whatnot, if we were able to get the Marvel Animator, what do you want to know? So I'm going to go through and ask you some of the questions, not too rapid fire, but there's some pretty basic ones. So the most common question by far was people want to know what the favorite character you designed was. Everyone, what's the most favorite one and why?
So let's just say, ever since I got on this title, the first character I had to animate was Captain America. He was our average medium male guy who we could kind of base, all the other models off of.
Sure, yeah, just a normal dude, buff dude, yeah.
Normal buff dude. And I was like, all right, this is cool, but if we ever get Spider-Man, please, if dibs is a thing, may I please have dibs
Oh,
on Spider-Man?
he's my
So,
favorite Marvel character, just so you know. To be fair, Spider-Verse is
good,
my
good,
favorite
good.
genre.
Thank you. Thank you. Me too, actually. That's why I was like, please, can I do Spider-Man? I got to do the original Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and the symbiote. So, and
Oh,
I even
cool.
tried to give it away. I was like, for the symbiote, I actually pushed my animator colleagues to go, please, guys. I feel like I'm bogarting all the cool Spider-Man animations. I want to share the love because it's just so fun to animate Spider-Man. He doesn't really adhere to the laws of physics like the other characters do. You know,
He's a
you,
little
you kind of
bendy,
you
yeah.
get yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you get
a little
away with
rubbery.
yeah, you get away with some of that stuff, which is fun. So my favorite character or series of characters was definitely the Spider-Man.
Okay, that's a good answer. You nailed that one. I'm still
Yeah.
learning the game, so I can't say for
All right.
myself. But when I joined the game, what everyone was telling me was you have got to do the symbiote people. Like you've got to get symbiote Spider-Man, basically. Like I've heard that advice over and over and over and over again. And then I went to my girlfriend's and I missed the offer where it was like the Spider-Man, symbiote Spider-Man was like $25 or whatever you could buy.
It was like 20.
Yeah, I just flat out missed it. Flat out missed it. So I was like, okay,
I missed
well,
it too.
so now I've been going ham on these milestones trying to get it, and I'm embarrassingly low level. I'm like level 50 or something here, but oh, to tell you, spoiler alert, I did buy the orbs for this video here. I bought the 28 red star orbs, so I can pull them up here later on, and maybe we'll get lucky, but
Sounds like fun.
but since let me chew through some of these other questions we had here. Then, so okay, so this is a good one. Let's
All
let's
right.
try this one. Do you have to stay fairly true to the comics movies, or can you kind of pull from your own inspiration and edit it a little bit? How much of your artistic freedom do you have within the job?
That's a really good question. So Marvel will always have a say, right? Obviously, because it's their IP. But we actually get a lot of say if you're an artist on the game. Typically, what happens though is we have like designers who come up with the abilities, right? Like first they kind of come up, who do we need in our roster? What are we lacking? What characters could we put in that everybody wants? There's a lot of things that goes into who goes in next. But
Sure.
once we decide on a character, and then once they decide on kind of the gist of what their kit is going to be, then they kind of have this cool meeting. This is one of my most favorite parts about working here is that we have these brainstorm meetings where people from all different sort of professions come in and just kind of throw out bad ideas, like because when you throw out the bad ideas, the good ones come.
Kind of like a comedy writing session, where it's just you just spiel out whatever. Okay. I like that. So
yeah, do you write? Are you a writer as well?
Well, okay. So where I want to get, I'm not a writer, to be fair. What I want to do, and I've been the peek behind the curtain is I'm building 100,000 subs for the mobile game genre because I want to go purely into like comedy, basically like comedy podcasts, stand up stuff like that. I want to steal Bill Burr's route. I love what he does. The online podcasts and stuff like that. I'm not trying to go full Joe Rogan with it, but
fly helicopters. You trying to fly helicopters too?
Yeah, well, I think I like to stay alive. You hear the stories about the people that fly the helicopter, and even him. You must listen to his Monday morning podcast there all the time then too, because he's always talking about how the headaches of getting the license. Remember, so yeah, it'd probably. And plus, I'm from Alaska,
not including just the money.
Flying helicopters here are kind of a little limited, but yeah, that's the plan for me. But I got what was the original question? You asked me something.
Something about comedy, was it? Or was
oh, that's
it
right.
What do you want to do with writing?
That's right. You asked me if I wrote too, because we were talking about the writing room. It was like a comedy writing room, and then you're like, "Oh, do you write?" And no, I don't write, but I am trying to sneak my way through mobile gaming, then go into comedy, which I suppose will make writing. But the question I was going to ask you, and I got it. The grabbing the words that were escaping here as they were running away from my brain, is that so you make the kit first, you figure out what the game needs, then you fit the kit you figure out the character that would fit this concept, and you kind of put them together. Is that what I'm understanding?
Actually, it's more like they decide, hey, this is, for in the case of Symbiote Spider-Man, they're like, hey, we want to do this, and his moves are this. So animators, artists, whoever's in the meeting what would be a cool, single target attack, or what would be a really cool, devastating AoE attack. So a lot of times
I
it's
see.
really open ended like that because you don't know what it's going to be. Or if it's like a basic attack, it's up to the pod or the team of people on that particular character
Sure.
to kind of go, hey, what do you guys think about this? So we bounce ideas off of each other a lot, which is really cool. And those meetings get pretty silly. I wish we could like release them. Maybe I'll sneak a camera into one of them and
Oh yeah, there you
release
go.
it
Break all
somehow.
kind of. I'm sure that would get me in all kinds of trouble. And what? Well, that answers the next
I think if you
question.
get the camera in,
You
yeah,
you answer the actually with these answers you answer a string of these, which was do you work together? Bang, you got that one. So then the next one is
yes,
you're obviously a Marvel fan. You've already answered that one too. But then the one that
yeah,
I
oh
don't
yeah, dude.
think we answered was how did you originally get into the line of kind of 3D animation? What started you down that line?
All right. Well, first and foremost, I love video games. Like I was addicted since I was a kid. So I wanted to get into. I was going to be a nurse. I'm Filipino. My parents were like, "You're going to be a nurse because that's what we do." And I was like, "No, I think I want to be an artist." And they didn't really, they weren't too keen on that.
Sure.
But my art teacher was like, "Hey, you've got some talent. You could just work on it. Go to this art school that's part of the community college." So essentially, I was going to a community college art school, right? And
Okay.
so I was bugging my counselor. Here's a tip: be nice to your counselors if you're in school, because it's
Yes.
their job to place you to
Yes.
get jobs. Gloria Montler, thank you very much. I owe my career to you. So I was calling her every week, every Friday morning. I'd give her, a really pleasant phone call. Gloria, how you doing? I know,
You got to grease
I'm
the
just looking
wheel,
for an
sure. Yeah.
internship. Yeah, I'm just looking for an internship. If there's anything you can find, and that went on for months, and then she finally found one for me. And I had put together an animation demo reel. I fell in love with animation. I love games. I want to make games, but I think I kind of used animation to make video games. That was
I
like
see.
for you, making mobile games is like kind of like your vehicle into comedy.
Yep.
For me, animation was my vehicle into making video games.
So that brings me to that's a question that I wonder then is so you said you originally had some talent. You said that your teacher noticed you had some talent. So the question I would wonder is how much of natural talent, let's say like driving, drawing stuff,
Yeah.
technical skill, I guess is what I'm trying to get at here. I'm not an artist, so I wouldn't know the word for it. But technical skill, how much of that transcribes? Like, do you use with Wacom tablets, or does having mechanical skill with your hands come down to what the 3D animating? Is there any
Yeah,
cross in
well,
that? It might be a dumb question, but I'm a little curious.
that's a really actually good question. Um, so with 3D animation, obviously, you're not, drawing every frame. But where you do benefit from a classical animation or a classical art standpoint is, I guess the number one thing is gesture drawings. If you're going to be an animator, they make you draw like these quick poses, like nude models.
Yeah,
But instead
yeah.
of sitting there for 2 hours, they go, okay, you see this pose? Draw what you see in 15 seconds. Get the
Oh,
gist
I
of the
see.
pose.
Okay.
Just get the gist, the essence of it. And
They're
then
testing your ability to work under time constraints, I'm assuming.
that, and they're testing your ability to analyze body mechanics. How
Mm.
must the body be positioned for it to look right and balanced?
Like the joints, the proportions, all those type of things is really I see very
Joints,
quickly.
proportions, yeah. But I think if you're interested in 3D animation, you don't need traditional 2D art skills for 3D animation. If you want to do modeling is like you're creating the sculpture, and you're usually expected to create the texture or the paint of the model. So to do that paint, you probably want some artistic skill.
That leads me to wondering what kind of software environments are you familiar with? What typically are you utilizing when it comes to being a 3D animator? What's your day look like when you're sitting in front of the computer? What's open on your desktop?
First and foremost, it's on a PC. We've tried to I think one of the companies I worked for, they got like a super deal on all these MacBook Pros or something,
Yeah.
and so we were running off of emulated like Boot Camp MacBook Pro.
Okay, yeah.
a lot of bugs. But let's just
Yeah.
say it's PC and it's using Maya,
Okay.
Autodesk Maya.
Okay.
I don't know if that's free, but you could definitely get a student version for cheap. If you're interested in learning 3D animation or any sort of 3D software, Blender is free, and
I've
there's
heard a lot of
a
good
lot
things
of
about
Blender
it.
tutorials.
Plus,
Are you interested in doing that stuff too?
well, it's actually something I really wanted to get into. I was talking to one of my other YouTuber buddies, Kyra Mobile. He does Exos Heroes mainly and a little bit Raid, and he's trying to get into learning Blender because what we've been figuring out is I need to move to a larger studio where it's going to be green floor, roof, everything at some point because I live in like kind of a small apartment, you know. And when I do that, the ability for me to purchase like 3D models online without me having to actually animate the models, then render them in Blender and have it be like me walking through a submarine that's actually moving and I can go through it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that might bring.
Take two.
And take two, we are back. His internet went out for a second, but we were just talking about Blender being a really good tool for 3D modeling, basically. He was asking me if I was going to go into it, and long story short, the answer to your question you probably missed was, I'm going to try. I think that being able to pre-purchase, the online models. I'm not an animator. My art skills are terrible. Shout out to Vexium. He does my art for me. He did all this, and I'm going to continue to use his skills. But if he learns Blender, then you'll expect to see me using some Blender stuff. But you guys don't use Blender at your work, though, do you?
No, we don't. We use Maya.
Okay,
But
purely Maya.
it's pretty much animation is basically move, rotate, set key, slide the timeline over. I might be able to show you some a little later.
That could be fascinating. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe if you ever wanted to come back for a part 2 at some point, I don't know how much free your time is, but I love these type of videos.
That'd be awesome.
I guess really
Cool.
The last question that I really had here, since we're talking about the animation things, is when it comes to the development of the game. Now, a lot of people probably already know this, but is it Unity or is it Unreal Engine? I'm not familiar with what you guys use as far as the engine goes and what software is used to develop it, since we're talking about the software.
On Marvel Strike Force in particular, it's Unity.
Okay, it's a Unity based.
And actually before I worked on this game, I had never worked on a Unity based game before, so it is something you can just kind of pick up as you go along. And again, there's really great tutorials on web for Unity stuff.
When you go from game to game and it's on a different engine, does all of it transfer in the terms of skill, where it's like you use Maya or however you say it, Autodesk, right? When you use that, can it go on to any game really, as far as your capacity and what you have to learn? Do you have to change your knowledge or learn anything else based upon what game engine they're using for that side of the game? Does it change anything for you?
Very slightly. Most of the time, the animation format that we use to export is like a FBX format. And really all that is like a text version of like the name of the bone, its position coordinates, and its rotation coordinates and scale if necessary. And so an animation is just like a collection of all the frames, all the bones, all the positions, and all the rotations. And that's all it is. And that gets exported into game engines and they handle it differently. So a lot of times with making video games, doing the art competently is not enough. You kind of have to know all the little intricacies of your engine.
Okay.
And Unity has a lot. And Unity is kind of like a tangled web, if you go in, everything is connected to everything. So you're like, oh, it's like I'm doing brain surgery on something. And you have to know a little bit about those things. But I found that the people that you work with in video games, because it's such a small family, everyone's so open to like wanting to help you out, because the faster you get at your job, that just helps everybody else.
So let me hit you with one question. Then I'm gonna hit you with one question that's not on the list. Surprise one. You think it's harder? Okay. I'm gonna start a little drama there at your work. You think it's harder to hire a really good artist or a really good, dev for the game? Well, what's harder to find?
You're talking about engineer?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Engineer, like
you have to excuse my lack of the coder, the programmer, or the artist.
No,
what's harder to find?
No, you're pretty well versed. Pretty well versed for somebody on the other side of the curtain. I would have to say finding engineers is really hard. But there's a really sought after type of artist that is almost as hard to find as an engineer. And pro tip for anybody trying to get into like mobile type games, the VFX industry for mobile type games or like video games, it's very different from Hollywood, because in Hollywood you get to pre-render all of your VFX. You could like take 15 minutes per frame to render everything, whereas in video games we got to do all that stuff real time with smoke and mirrors. We can't do like high level particles because this is just we're on phones here.
Right.
We're not like console gaming. Even on console games, it would have a hard time producing real time VFX like that.
How are your render times?
What ends up happening is like you're putting cards. It's instant, man. Like what you're seeing is like these VFX need to just come out, real time, like as you need it. There's no time to render. So I hope that answered your question.
No, okay. So yeah, no, that makes them. That information is above my head. However, hopefully the people that listen to it enjoyed the spiel, because for me, I'm just going to say, you know what? Yes.
Just nod your head.
Smile and wave, boys.
I can explain how VFX are made in a super simple sort of way, right? So like, let's say you want to emit smoke. In a movie, you'd be like, oh, take your particle emitter, and then it emits like all these tiny particles of smoke, and then they have volume, and then that's your movie stuff. In a video game, we have to use basically invisible cards, right? And then you put the smoke texture with the alpha on the cards, and then you could like stretch out the card. You can animate the card.
I see.
And that's the basics of video game VFX.
Really? Okay, so it's almost like just messing around in Photoshop with like an image, like a transparent layer, and then you move it, like in Premiere Pro, or you can just move it around the screen stuff for After Effects.
No, that's exactly it. Except you're doing it in like 3D sometimes, and so like you could skew the card, stretch it, scale it,
awesome.
pull verts in different ways to manipulate it. But that's essentially all VFX in video games is. Textures map to a card, and a card either gets duplicated multiple times and stretched, or just a combination of all of that.
Well, Mike, brother, you are
VFX, if you want to get into games.
You are an absolute just treasure trove of information. I think I got about 10 to 15% of all of that in there. Hopefully it will stay. But for the last, I promised you could say anything you want to the audience at the end. You got any plug or anything before we whammy on these red stars and you can watch them again, Lucky?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me thank you, and let me thank everybody out there for playing Marvel Strike Force, because without all of you guys, I would be living on the street. So you support artists and engineers like myself who are passionate about the game, and hearing that people want to hear about this little thing we toil on, it's really good to know that you guys are interested in that stuff, and I'm really happy to share that stuff, and hopefully we could do more of this in the future. I have my own channel. If you want to shamelessly plug,
leave it. Shameless plug.
You can find me on basically on as Oh Mike Goodness on Instagram and YouTube. Right now, I don't have much going on, but there's a lot of old behind the scenes stuff. But hopefully, I want to get stuff like this up on the channel, and then maybe have you on the channel. Who knows? Favor for a favor.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. I scratch your back, I scratch yours. I know how this business works. So what's the deal with so you and Mobile Gamer both have the name, he's Oh My Goodness and you're Oh Mike Goodness? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Yeah. I think we're gonna have two OMGs in the Marvel Strike Force
universe. Do I need to change my name to like Oh Micro Goodness or something? That's the next channel.
Yeah, dude.
All
Darth Micro Goodness, dude. Just Darth Micro.
Are you ready?
DMG.
You ready to want DMG? That's actually not bad. I like that. So you ready to see me get boned here on these? All right, here we go.
Can I stream you some good luck music?
Yeah, do it. Play the good music while I'm gonna start opening these here. Oh, to Squirrel Girl. Hey.
Oh, what's that?
Squirrel Girl.
Hey. The G chord.
There it is.
G chord helped you out.
All right, what's the next core? What's the lucky one here? Oh, Black Widow, 2-star Black Widow. Okay, where's the 7-star? You know, I got lucky, and even though I missed the Spider Symbiote, I was telling you, I missed the Spider Symbiote purchase, and I didn't get it. I pulled a 5-star Spider Symbiote from the Red Star, and I was like freaking out. Okay, that's Kree.
Lucky.
Kree Noble. I know it's
My
probably
Kree
hard
is
to
weak.
see on the screen. 1-star Luke Cage.
Is that Luke Cage?
Luke Cage. 1-star Luke Cage. Looked like a 7. It baited us in the scene like it was 7. 1-star Wolverine.
Yeah, you're missing that little hanging part.
Oh, Mr. Fantastic, 2-star. Okay, we're ready for a big one now. Something's gonna happen here. Okay, 1-star Shield Operative. All right.
Come on.
I'm starting to sweat, Mike. I'm starting to sweat here. Okay, all right.
It is a purple.
Hey, we got Yondo. Yondo's all right. I don't think that's a duplicate. It's a duplicate. All right. The ukulele in the background.
Purples.
Squirrel Girl again.
Here's a G code.
You guys are taking my money. You're taking my money, Mike. What are you doing? Okay, Juggernaut. Oh no, that's a duplicate. Mike, you told me that if I brought you on the channel and plugged your channel, you were going to give me only 7 stars out of there's purely 4-star. That's actually good.
That's true.
I needed this. I needed
that
this.
shade of journalism is a little yellow.
You like my spin? You know on that? Come on, who's this? Is that Nebula? It's Nebula. Okay, and I clicked too fast. That was Iron Fist. 2-star Hydra Armor Girl. We got one so far. I gotta say, I used all my luck in the beginning because I pulled Minerva and Captain Marvel and there we go, Colossus and Symbiote Spider-Man. That was just 1-star. But, hey, there's Spider-Man again. This guy likes to show
the devil.
There he is again. There's the guy you worked on right there. Now if I can pull him from the orbs.
Try to say the name of the character that you want.
Okay. 7-star Captain Marvel.
But you should try it.
Okay, that was Shield. All right, let's try that one more time. 7-star Captain Marvel. 1-star Shield Trooper. Okay, 1-star Shield Trooper. 1-star Shield. Oh, there it is. We tricked it. What did I get?
You wish 1-star Shield Trooper.
Okay, 3-star. All right, that's something. Night Nurse. Apparently, I didn't have that yet. All right, and 1-star Psylocke. Beautiful. Wait for. There we go. Okay, all right. 3-star Colossus. I like that. Oh, it's an upgrade. Okay, you get points even when you get an upgrade. I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that's generous compared to where duplicates do nothing in games I'm used to. 2-star Mrs. Marvel. Okay, and 2 to go. Oh, purple. There it is. Oh, 4-star Hawkeye. I don't know. Is Hawkeye good, Mike? Did you work on Hawkeye?
Hawkeye? I did work on Hawkeye, but unfortunately, he's probably not meta.
All right. 4-star Kree Noble at the end. That was your nice way of saying he sucks. There it is. 4-star Kree Noble. That's the final one. How you feel about that $100, Mike? I feel pretty good about it.
I would like to just take this opportunity again to thank you for playing Marvel Strike Force.
All right, boys. Well, if you won Marvel Strike Force, and hopefully you'll get better luck than I. Actually, that wasn't that bad. I got, what is this? 5, 10.
That wasn't that bad.
No, that's actually a lot more. I got.
Do you have any 7 red stars?
No, I don't have a single 7-star yet. Actually.
Same, bro.
Not a single
Nothing,
one.
man. I can't even cheat. Can't even cheat my way into 7 red stars.
Oh, well, what's the point of working there if you can't cheat your way to the top, Mike?
This is probably the worst time to ask, but do you want me to go call you Darth or your real name?
What do you whatever. Like you can. People call me DM mostly. I think is like probably the go-to.
DM sounds cool.
Yeah, like I'm some kind of Dungeons and Dragons master or something from back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you used to play D&D.
It's a cool name.
Did you play D&D at all?
I have not, but I'm familiar.
Okay. Nerds, tables,
like
dice.
Everybody that plays it seems to really love it. So it's got to be fun.
It's all right. My brother really loved it, so I played it. It was one of those. I got dragged in.
Oh, you did?
I got dragged in. Yeah.
Are you a good dungeon master?
No, not at all. In fact, I barely even know how to play the game, so I got kicked out most of mine. Got kicked out most of my groups.
All right.
All right. Perfect way to end it. There you go. All right. And we're going to kick ourselves out of this video. Bye-bye, everyone. Download the game. It's in the description.
Thank you.
Click on it, download. Support him and myself by downloading. Okay, bye.
Bye.